Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 51. We're starting off today's episode with some breaking news. It is confirmed today that the NBA next season will start on December 22nd. It was confirmed by the NBA PA and Adam Silver. They came to an agreement that is going to happen. First thoughts on this, Easton?
I'd be so upset if I was like an NBA player. Like, this is a quick turnaround.
They all agreed. They agreed on it.
LeBron did not. LeBron is ticked about it.
I don't think they're just because LeBron doesn't want it.
I understand that, but like, I bet you LeBron was sitting there and he's like, yeah, well, Kawhi got to rest all season. I didn't rest all year.
I don't know, though. If Chris Paul, the leader of the NBA PA, and him and LeBron are good buddies, I bet LeBron's okay with it.
Yeah. He might just be making a big joke out of it.
But, that was just a quick breaking news of today. We haven't done a podcast since last Saturday. This week has been kind of a weird week. We didn't podcast on Wednesday, so just one episode this week. Quickly, if it sounds like me and Easton are sick, we don't have COVID, by the way. We got tested this week, and we're both negative. It's just the weather in Michigan is really odd right now with it turning hot and cold, and it's messing with our allergies. So, yeah. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Speaking of COVID, Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions quarterback, has been placed on the COVID-19 list for this week. He's not out, but technically right now he's out, but he should play. He doesn't have COVID. He just came in contact with somebody, so he has to have negative tests up until the game. So he technically won't be cleared to play until the day of the game, which is kind of scary, but hopefully he doesn't randomly get a positive test in there because that would really hurt the Lions.
Oh, that'd be awful. That'd be so bad. Oh, man.
Very bad, but yeah. Next on the news list, your very own Central Michigan Chippewa football team had their first game this week. Finally, Maction is back. I just want to say I love me some Maction.
Oh, who doesn't love Maction?
I mean, like,
it's some of the most exciting football.
Me and my dad, we've been watching Maction since I was like 8 years old.
It is some of the most exciting
there's nothing
football.
else on. There's nothing on during the week.
Nothing.
On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you got Maction.
You got Maction.
And CMU won. They beat Ohio. And their quarterback, I forget who he is. He's a freshman, though. He played damn good. I forget who he is, but...
Were you with Willie and them watching the game?
No, I was watching it with Colby and Jagger.
Oh, okay. The other half of the group that stayed home.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, CMU got to win, so that's good.
That's super good.
Next, this one's kind of a longer news thing, but the NBA rumor mill. There's been a lot of rumors going on in the NBA this week, so... there's been a lot of them, and not all of them are confirmed. Obviously, they're all rumors, but I would like to talk about each and every single one of them. The first one I want to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers recently hired former Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey to become the president of operations. Elton Brand is still the GM, but Daryl Morey is now his boss, which is kind of crazy. But they are reportedly interested in going after James Harden via trade. But the Rockets aren't. They said no. As of right now, we are not trading James Harden. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on this?
I see why the Rockets don't want to trade James Harden. Like, it makes sense to me because they're not in a spot to win if they trade James Harden. If they trade,
they're not in a spot to win with Harden now, though.
But they've already talked about how they're getting a center this offseason. No matter what, they're getting a center. They're not. They're moving away from the small ball thing. It's not happening next year. So I think they're going to try out one more year with Harden, Russell, and a real center and probably some real bigs and see what happens. But I don't think you trade James Harden this offseason. I think you wait. If it doesn't work midway through the season, you trade him. Even though I would hate to go to full rebuild if I'm the Rockets.
Yeah.
Because you've knocked on the door for so many years.
First of all, my reaction is if Harden, I would love to see Harden on the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to happen? Probably not. But I would love to see Harden and Embiid together. That would be awesome. But Jalen Rose on Jalen and Jacoby the other day was saying that he was I don't know how much he put thought into this, but he said that the Rockets should just try to get Embiid and team him up and do like Westbrook for Embiid. And it's just like, there's no way Philly would do that.
Hell no. Philly doesn't want to rebuild right now. They're in a win now position. I heard the rumor was a pick and Al Horford for James Harden and Josh Richardson.
Well, who the hell wants Al Horford?
Well, that's you have
You'd have to throw in Ben Simmons to get Harden.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying, but like I'm saying, like, is it worth it at that point?
You'd have to throw in, and that's the thing. If I'm the Rockets and you get offered Ben Simmons for Harden, I do it 100% because if you're trading away Harden, that means you're probably rebuilding, and there's no better piece to a rebuild than a young player that is already an All-NBA player, already a 2-time All-Star like Ben Simmons.
All-defensive player, too.
Yeah, like he's a perfect guy to get for a rebuild. I hear you say that they're going to go after a couple bigs this offseason, go back to more traditional basketball. Without getting rid of Harden and Westbrook, though, what kind of bigs? Can you get even any decent bigs, though? Like,
I don't know.
What assets do they have? Like, you could go get
I think they're
Dwayne
just
Dedmon for the minimum?
Yeah,
like,
that's mid-level exception is what I've heard.
Like
low-level guys. But there's a lot of centers in free agency this year that are going to be taking mid-level exceptions.
I don't know, though. I don't
know how good the centers are going to be.
They need a center that will stretch the floor, or else they just traded away Capella for nothing. And the amount of centers that can stretch the floor that are free agents that won't get a lot of money, like Dwayne Dedmon's, like the only one.
Yep. Well, I would go out and get Dantes Montejunas again. I would just pick him up wherever he is.
Montejunas?
Yeah, I don't know where he is right now, but
oh, I forgot about him. Remember when he got traded to the Pistons when we did that deal with the Rockets, but then it fell through because somebody couldn't pass their physical.
Yep.
I think it was Montejunas that didn't pass his physical. That was weird.
Montejunas needs to be traded or back on the Rockets.
I was gonna say he's not in the league. But yeah, that's the first thing on the rumor mill. The second one, the Detroit Pistons finally came out. Troy Weaver, the new GM of the Pistons, came out and said that he is gonna look to trade up in this year's draft. Wow, does that make me happy?
This is the best news I've heard in such a long time because he came out and said we are trying to move up for Lamelo Ball.
And
Lamelo,
we've been talking. I mean, if there was a year to trade up, it's this year. Like the teams with the first and second pick both said we would be fine with trading down, and
we have the assets to trade up
to an extent.
We have Luke Kennard.
We have you'd have to sign and trade with Kennard.
Yep.
We have Kennard, Rose, and 7. That's pretty much it. Like that are
nobody's going to take Blake.
No one's going to take.
They might. I don't think the T-Wolves would.
The Warriors
could.
Yeah, but we'd have to get Wiggins back though, and would they Wiggins for Blake?
But
how much better is Blake than Wiggins?
But if we get LaMelo,
I'm talking about for the Warriors. How much better is Blake than Wiggins?
I think he's quite a bit better. I think he fits better for the Warriors.
Yeah, but I mean, is he going to play though? Is he healthy? Like,
I don't know. That's a good point. It's whether or not he's healthy. But even like I don't think teams would take Blake. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't really think so either.
Well, how many years does he have left on his deal?
But if you got to throw, like 2 or 3,
T-Wolves,
I'd say 3. The T-Wolves, you can't do it with the T-Wolves. They don't have the money. They can't make it. They have to give us D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, I like him. No, but trading up for LaMelo Ball, them saying that literally made me so happy that like because we've been talking about it, we get the 7th pick and we're like, damn, there's no LaMelo.
Exactly, I know.
And now it's like, holy moly.
Man, I mean, like, I just been talking about the only guy I want in this draft is LaMelo Ball. Like, that is it. I mean, like, I would love to get Killian Hayes.
Tyrese
Halliburton. If we stay at 7 and Melo obviously isn't going to be there at 7, I would like to get those guys, but I want them to do what it takes. If you have to give up Kennard and Rose and 7 to get LaMelo, why not do it? Like, we're going to suck anyways. You might as well.
Here's what I think about getting LaMelo. I'm not that, like, he has I think he has quite a high bust potential. Like, he's a good chance that he busts.
Especially you look at how his brother is.
But if he doesn't bust and we don't trade up because we're like, maybe he busts, I would be fine if we trade up and we get him and then he busts. I'd be okay with that because it's like we made the move to try and get the best player in the draft.
Right.
Not that he is the best player right now in the draft, because he's not.
But it's just like, and for the past several months, it's been about LaMelo to the Pistons. That's kind of been like the weird
like,
thing.
why?
And LeVar Ball said that he wanted him in New York or Detroit, which is weird. I would love to see Melo Ball in a Pistons
I think
uniform.
if you honestly
I'd immediately get a LaMelo Ball jersey.
So fast.
I would probably be one. You ever seen that guy that has like every Carmelo jersey?
Oh.
Like, I would be that guy with LaMelo Ball.
I'd get just foreign one, the blue and the white.
Did you see the new Pistons City jersey? By the way, a bunch of the City jerseys dropped, like leaked pictures of them, and they are all fire.
See, I only saw the Warriors.
I've saw several of them because there's this Twitter page I follow that they posted like all of them, and they're all, there's a bunch of sick
Pistons
ones.
dubs?
The Pistons one is better than the one from last year. Like that red and blue one. I didn't really like that one. This one's like the other way around kind of, but without the two stripes going down the middle. It's pretty cool.
I wish they'd just throw out like how the Warriors did this year with the We Believe Warriors.
Yeah,
Send
I
it
know.
back to the green Detroit.
Yeah, well, those are the classic. Those are their classic. Those aren't their city
okay.
jerseys.
I
But,
didn't know they even wore them.
yeah. But yeah, the Pistons need to bring back like the Mustang, the horse on the green and red. Those ones were so fire. The Grant Hill, like,
Dude, no, I would get all of LaMelo's foreign jerseys, his big baller brand league jersey.
oh, I'm just saying I would get every Piston.
I would
jersey.
get his everything.
Next on the news is still involving LaMelo Ball. So, league consensus reportedly has said, this is just another rumor going around the league, that LaMelo Ball will reportedly fall out of the top 3 in the NBA draft. The reason why is because apparently Onyeka Okongwu's stock is rising. Like, rumored that Charlotte will take Okongwu at 3.
I saw that.
And, you know, that would drop Melo to 4 to Chicago. Would Chicago take him, or would they, you know, Denny to Chicago's kind of been the thing. So
Yeah, I don't think Melo takes.
is that kind of worrisome for a team like the Pistons that wants to get LaMelo Ball?
But when I read that, again, I think Onyeka Okongwu has a much lower.
I like Okongwu.
Me
though.
too. I love him. But he has a much lower ceiling than LaMelo.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But his floor is higher than LaMelo.
Yeah. See, the thing that scares me about LaMelo is just because I hate comparing him to his brother, because obviously they're not the same player, but they're similar, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, LaMelo is not nearly on the. Lonzo's one thing about him is his defense. He brings the defense.
Melo ain't got that.
doesn't bring the defense.
No.
Everyone says, well, LaMelo's a better shooter. Is
Not
he?
really.
Is he? He shot like 20% on all jump shots in Australia last year. LaMelo is a fantastic playmaker. He's 2 inches taller than his brother. That's about it.
He's only 2 inches taller.
He's 6'8". I mean, Lonzo's 6'6", but
I thought Lonzo was like 6'4".
no, he's 6'6". But I mean, Melo's 6'8". That doesn't count if he grows out his hair again. I mean, but
That's insane, dude.
I know.
6'8" point guard for the Pistons.
I don't remember when he was 5'11" in his freshman year when he put up 90
He
points.
was
and
like
stuff.
5'8" his freshman year.
That's the reason why I want LaMelo Ball, because we witnessed LaMelo Ball become good.
It's the story.
We used to laugh at him. We used to be like, no way that guy's making it to the league. And
look at
Lonzo
him.
used to always be the guy. Like, I don't know.
It's pretty incredible.
But it scares me, though, that LaMelo Ball is apparent. Like, all NBA teams are like, we don't know about LaMelo Ball.
I don't think that would be the case if it wasn't for Lonzo. And I really believe that.
And his father, and LeVar.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a discussion about whether or not LaMelo should go top 3 if it wasn't for his father and Lonzo.
I think that if LaMelo were to go to a team like the New York Knicks, it would end badly.
I don't think he should. I don't think the Ball brothers should, even though they've been in the spotlight since they were high school basketball players. We saw what it did to Lonzo. It did not. And granted,
it's not like he sucked.
No,
It's
he had a
just
shitty head coach too.
and
that's what LeVar is afraid of. LeVar is afraid of a bad head coach. That's why he wants Tom Thibodeau or Dwayne Casey.
Yeah, two known pretty well coaches. Yeah,
2 coaches of the year. Right?
Yeah,
Tom
I
Thibodeau won
think
it in
Thibodeau's
Chicago.
got one. I think he has one. Yeah,
I think he had to have.
probably.
But I mean, that is 2 guys that you want, because we saw what Lonzo happened. You know, he was the consensus top 2 pick in the draft, and then something happened.
And he was just like, everybody thought Lonzo was going to be that guy. Like,
Yeah.
he was so hyped up.
He could shoot in college. And what happened? And I think LeVar is very afraid of that. I think, honestly, I've heard Melo's interviews aren't going well, like with any team. Just because, have you heard the guy talk? I mean,
I don't know if it's really Melo as much as it is his father though, and his family, just his background.
So I'm gonna send you an article that you got to read, and it's about Lamelo it's about a guy who went and lived with Lamelo in Australia for like a month, and it like gives you insight on what Lamelo Ball thinks about his dad and stuff. Crazy. He's like, my dad is not me. Like, don't think what my dad says is what I think, because it's just not the case. I can't control him. It's just who he is.
I would hate that.
Yeah, and he's like, I love living in Australia, being far away from like the ball and the family and stuff. He's like, I love just focusing on basketball for all this time. It was such a good article.
Dude, I would hate that if like your dad was like that and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know how true that is, but like it probably is.
I mean, you read the article, and it's like he's talked about how lonely he is in Australia and stuff because all of his friends go to bed. It's really sad. It's a sad article.
Yeah, that's. I just want Melo Ball. I just hope that the draft is coming up soon. The draft is like November 18th. Mm-hmm. Like it's in like 2 weeks. So
are we gonna watch it together? We should try.
I'd like to. We could live stream it.
We should live stream it. We should figure out how to do that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how we would, but
I'd have to talk.
We could just do a live podcast.
Yeah, I could talk to Dirty Patricia about it.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, a live podcast reacting to old draft picks.
I gotta make sure I don't work that night. I gotta figure. Yeah, I'll make sure I don't.
I'll talk to Dirty Patricia.
All right. What time does the draft even start? Like usually 8.
8, I think.
All right. Anyways, the next rumor. This one is a weird one. I don't know how much I believe this one. This says that the worst kept secret in the NBA is that Devin Booker wants out of Phoenix, and they like I said, it's apparently the worst kept secret in the NBA.
Meaning everybody knows this. I don't believe it. If it's the worst
kept secret, how are we all just hearing about it now?
I don't believe this at all.
I don't either, especially after what happened in the bubble.
Y'all were balling.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have figured it out.
It's not like you're getting any worse this offseason. Like, you're balling without...
You are losing Aaron Baines.
You are losing Baines, yeah, but you balled without one of your best players in Kelly Oubre, who you're going to deal to get better. You get a younger player, maybe you can do whatever you want with Oubre because he's a valuable piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really believe that one. I mean, Booker...
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Because he just signed a massive deal, like a massive extension for like 5 more years.
Booker isn't leaving Phoenix anytime soon unless he demands a trade. And if he does demand a trade, he's not getting traded anywhere where his team's going to be any better. Like, he's not going to be able to go to a contender because I can't think of any contenders that have the money and the assets to trade for Booker.
Yeah. Nope.
Unless you give up another star, like the Celtics giving up like Jaylen Brown,
which would just be silly. Like, they would never.
Example, yeah.
Is that a new shirt?
Weird one. I've actually had this for a long time. I just never really wear it anymore.
I like it.
Thank you. The next rumor, the New Orleans Pelicans came out and said that they are open to dealing Drew Holiday this offseason. Drew Holiday is a hot commodity for contending teams because we've said this a couple times. NBA players, a lot of NBA players agree that Drew Holiday is the best defender in the league, and he would help he hasn't been on a contending NBA team in probably ever. Probably ever.
No, because Philadelphia and New Orleans.
He made it to the second round with New Orleans 2 years ago, but they were never a contending team. No. Like, if he were to go to like Brooklyn or to Miami or Philly, like, he would be helping contend. First, I want to ask you, what do you think the best fit for Holiday is team-wise? And then what is, like, for the Pelicans' sake of things, what do you think you could get back for Drew Holiday? I'm going to check the video.
So I'm looking at the very first team that piqued my interest, and obviously they're the best Photoshopping fan base in NBA history. The Miami Heat and their jersey swapping fan base, where you can basically, if you look up any player in NBA history and you look up Miami Heat jersey, they're there or in a picture. Or the Knicks do that too.
The Knicks do that a lot.
But Miami Heat, Drew Holiday in a Miami Heat jersey works and makes sense. Drew Holiday has played off the ball a lot of his career. He can play the one because they might lose Goran Dragic this year.
Yeah, he can play the one.
Drew Holiday, I mean, he was an all-star as a point guard back in Philly. He's a great off-ball player, and he's a great defender. He's everything that he
can play make. He can knock down shots. He can have the ball when you need him to.
Yep. But the problem is you're giving up Miami Heat was the first one. You're giving up Tyler Hero and a pick.
See, and I also heard that the Heat are not going to give up Hero this offseason. Like they're
Kendrick Nunn in the pick at that point.
Yeah, but you have to give up Dragic for money. You'd have to give up Dragic.
I thought Dragic was a free agent this offseason.
No, that's next year.
Oh, okay. Oh, so, my word.
You'd have to give up
Dragic, Nunn, and a pick.
Does New Orleans do that, though? I don't think New Orleans does that.
Oh, I do that.
Drew Holiday's value is pretty high.
Yeah, but they're looking to trade him.
Yeah.
They
said they're open to move him. They're
and you're getting Kendrick Nunn's a baller.
I think the most win-win situation, and I will talk about this later, but is with the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets are kind of reportedly they've been looking for that third star. I really think if Brooklyn just keeps it all together, they'll be fine. Because LeVert and Dinwiddie, they can be that third star together. But a win-win trade for me is LeVert for Holiday, straight up. Or you throw in, the Nets throw in pick, they have the 20-something pick. You throw in that pick as well. Because LeVert is young, and he's good, and he's under contract. So the Pelicans get another young guy and a pick, and then the Nets get Holiday. I mean,
I love the trio of B.I., Karis LeVert, and Zion.
Yeah,
I
and then
love
you have
that
Lonzo
trio.
and Jackson Hayes as well. So.
I love that trio.
And they're all young. They're all young. I like it. LeVert's not that young. He really isn't that young. He's like 26 or 7.
But like he works with that group.
So yeah, that was that Drew Holiday rumor. The last rumor is Giannis. There's been 2 rumors about Giannis. The first one that came out was Giannis is expected to sign a long-term deal with the Miami Heat next offseason. Mm-hmm. And it was like, what? He's ready to sign that. That's not for a whole nother year.
Yeah, he's still in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's still there. Like, what? So is he demanding a trade to Miami right now so they can, And then the next one that came out was he's expected to sign the Supermax with Milwaukee next week. So I don't know what to believe. What do you think Giannis do you think he should sign the Supermax? I think we've talked about this.
No, we've talked about this.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I understand you want to get your bag. Like, congratulations if you get your bag.
But get your bag next year. You could get the Supermax next year if you want to stay in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you need to put pressure on Milwaukee's front office to go all in this year. Go all in. Get Oladipo. Get Chris Paul. Get Drew Holiday.
Yeah, get somebody.
Get somebody else to be that guy so that when they run this wall against you in the playoffs, you have teammates that can beat, who are left wide open, those teammates can make the defense pay for going 5v1 against you.
Dude, I'm telling you what, you put Chris Paul on that roster and you put Giannis in the dunk spot, the little block basically. It's going to be buckets. You are going to kill teams.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Milwaukee is they're in a weird spot, but if they just need to do everything right, and it's not that hard.
No, it isn't.
You can make. You have to give up DiVincenzo. Whatever. You're gonna have to give up a couple unprotected picks, and if Giannis leaves, that's gonna suck. But would you rather have that happen or Giannis leave?
And get nothing.
Yeah.
I guess if Giannis leaves, they get nothing.
Right.
Anyway, but.
The last thing was just a quick, simple thing. The Warriors said that they were interested in Kelly Oubre this offseason, which that's kind of something we've been talking about. I think the Warriors trading pick 2 to the Suns for pick 10 and Oubre, I would think that's a win-win for both sides. And that would help out the Warriors' depth so much. So
I don't really know who they take at pick 2.
I would still like the Pistons to move up more, though.
I don't know who the Suns take it to.
I know, because you don't take Wiseman.
You probably don't take Melo.
You could take Lamelo Ball. You could take Melo.
You might have
Book.
You might have the worst defensive backcourt in NBA history.
The thing is, you could take Edwards though, because
that's what I think.
Because Booker is a fine playmaker.
He can run the one.
He can run the one. Yeah. And you could deal Rubio too. You could get rid of Rubio for something else.
That's what I think. Anthony Edwards. I think Melo. If you stick Melo,
I still think Obi Toppin fits the Suns the most though. Obi Toppin fits the Suns perfectly, and you're not gonna take Obi Toppin at 2.
Yeah, you're reaching at that point.
Yeah. So let's get into our picks.
Weekly picks.
Weekly picks. We tried to make a weekly picks button. Didn't go so well.
It's not easy.
We'll figure it out next week.
I'll get the software.
So week 8 results. It was 4-3. I was up last week. We made an agreement because our new tiebreaker is all the primetime games, but we picked all the same ones. So we said it was coming down to Miami and the Rams game because we picked that differently. Well, this week came down to that, as I got 9 out of 14 and Easton got 10 out of 14. What a close week. 4-4 tied up now. Any specific games you want to talk about from last week?
Tua did not look. Do you see the highlight of Tua after the game? He was like sulking a little bit.
No.
Like, he was like upset, visibly upset with his performance.
I mean, he played all right. I mean, he didn't play like awful, but he didn't play good either.
Well,
he played decent.
Fumble, right?
Yeah.
Fumble. But the lineman like ran to him and like he's like, pick your head up. You got to win. Like, you don't get many of these.
Yeah. Just taking a look at the games from last week. I mean, Dalvin Cook went off for Minnesota as they had a huge win against Green Bay. The Pittsburgh Ravens game, man. Scuba's got to pay up for against Willie. Is the Steelers one.
How much was it? $50?
$50. I think he said he's gonna pay him in pennies too. I think he said he's gonna get $50 worth of pennies.
Take a wheelbarrow.
Tennessee gets upset by the Cincinnati Bengals. That's crazy. Seattle beat the Niners. Kansas City beat the Jets. What a crazy win.
Who would have thought?
The Lions, though, man, they took a loss at home against the Colts. I don't get the Lions, man. They looked good in the first half, and then the second half, they just sucked.
Which is the opposite of what they...
They didn't blow a huge lead, but like they scored first again. The run game was non-existent, though. I mean, like, it was non-existent the whole game. They had like 20 rush yards, I'm pretty sure, the whole entire game. Galladay got hurt, which is really scary. He's out this week. And, we still need Stafford to play, but they signed Mohamed Sanu to the practice squad, and I assume eventually they'll bring him up by the end of the year, so that's kind of good news.
I don't see any other big games.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia beat Dallas. The Seahawks I'm pretty sure I said the Seahawks beat the Niners, and that's pretty much it. The Cleveland Browns got upset by the Raiders. That's pretty much all from the games last week. So let's get into our Week 9 picks. We missed Thursday Night Football, like I said last week, so we're only out of 13 games. What are you going to say?
Before we can talk about this, I forgot about what I was going to mention. Remember how we were talking about the rumor?
Oh, yeah.
That has to deal with Miami Dolphins, so we can talk about that.
Okay.
The rumor is why Tua got the start. The Dolphins have Houston's pick this year, Houston's first-round pick. There is rumor that they are giving Tua an 8-game test drive. If you're not good enough, we are taking Trevor Lawrence. Like they are seeing whether or not we are committing the time to you, and you're our quarterback. Because we've already seen the other two quarterbacks in this draft class be very good. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow both look very, very good. Granted, they're not winning a lot of football games, but they look good.
I struggle to believe that rumor.
I read it.
Because I struggled to believe that because, I mean, it's just so difficult to have to. You take a quarterback at pick 5 or 6 last year was Tua. I think he was either 5 or 6, and then you're gonna take Lawrence will be top 3. I think Lawrence will go 1 if he goes, and the thing is, Houston's not gonna get the first pick because the Jets are gonna get it. So you'd have to trade. I mean, you could deal your pick and Houston's pick to get 1, which is giving up a lot because Miami will probably have a top 15 pick as well. I struggle to believe that because that's just really that's rare. You see teams picking quarterbacks back-to-back years in the top 5.
But it makes sense to why they gave Tua the start, other than the fact that you just play it,
or because you might as well. You picked him, you might as well.
Just thought it was interesting.
That is interesting. I still honestly am starting to believe that Trevor Lawrence won't go to the NBA or the NFL this year. I really think he's going to stay for some reason, especially now that he's out because of COVID and everything. But maybe he just wants to get his bag. Who knows? But yeah, this week is out of 13 games. Thursday Night Football the other night, Packers killed the 49ers, which sucks. Packers are now 6-2. Buys this week. Philadelphia Eagles are on bye, LA Rams on bye, Cleveland Browns on bye, and Cincinnati Bengals on bye. Let's get into it. Game 1, we have the 5-3 Chicago Bears at the 5-2 Tennessee Titans.
Going Tennessee.
Going Tennessee, man. The Bears lost 2 straight, I think.
I don't know. Tennessee needs to rebound.
I think they've lost 2 straight. Yeah, Tennessee's got to rebound for sure. Next, we have the 3-5 Carolina Panthers at the 7-1 Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs, but C-Mac is supposed to be back this week.
I'm going with the Chiefs, but I almost picked Carolina. I really was thinking about it.
With CMC coming back.
Maybe.
Well, there's rumor that he's coming back.
Excuse me. Next, we have your very own 3-4 Detroit Lions at the 2-5 Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going with the Lions, but Minnesota looked really good.
Going Lions, and this is a must-win game.
Yep.
I mean, you can't lose this one because you can't go 3-5 and tie it with Minnesota, with the Bears, and especially with the Packers winning on Thursday night. Must-win game for the Lions here.
Yep.
Next, we have the 3-4 Denver Broncos at the 2-6 Atlanta Falcons.
Going to the ATL.
I'm going
Falcons.
Denver. I've been picking against Denver several times. I picked them to lose against the Chargers last week. They beat the Chargers. I got to go with Denver. Next, 6-1 Seattle Seahawks at the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. This is my star game of the week.
I'm going with the Bills here. I think the Bills have got to play a big game here.
I'm going with Seattle simply because the Bills have looked not at like a 6-2 team in the last couple weeks.
Haven't.
So, yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks. Next, we have another really good game, the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens at the 5-2 Indianapolis Colts.
I almost picked Indianapolis here. I almost did, but I'm going with Baltimore.
I'm going Baltimore as well, simply because they can't afford to lose this one, man.
They've lost every big game they've been in.
I mean, they've had two huge games this year against the Chiefs and the two undefeated teams when they played them, the Chiefs and Steelers. Lost them both. I mean, the Steelers game was a close game.
They looked good
to the
in that
end,
game.
but it's on the road, but Baltimore's got to win this one.
Yep.
Next, we have a couple weird games here. We got the 1-7 New York Giants at the 2-5 Washington football team.
I'm just going to Washington. I really don't know.
I'm going Giants because, like I said, Daniel Jones, 3 out of his 4 career wins are against Washington, so might as well make it 4.
Yep.
Next, we have the 1-6 Houston Texans at the 1-6 Jacksonville Jaguars.
Going with Houston here.
I also went Houston. Jacksonville still sucks. 4-3 Las Vegas Raiders at the 2-5 LA Chargers.
Going with Justin Herbert here. I think he's going to pull me through in a big game.
You know, I love Herbert, man. I've been picking the Chargers so much this year, and it has just not been paying off. I'm going with the Raiders. And if the Chargers end up winning this game, I'm going to be so upset that I didn't pick them because I've picked them like every week the past like 4 weeks.
Yep.
And they've only won like one of those games. So I'm going with the Raiders here. But I'm still rooting for Herbert. Ordering Herbert jersey this weekend, by the way.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I made a commitment that I'm going to get a jersey for both of my fantasy leagues, like my favorite guy from both of my leagues.
Are you getting blue?
Herbert.
Blue?
I kind of like the white one. The white one's pretty cool.
They're both sweet.
Yeah, and then my other league, I have Josh Jacobs, but he's been average this year. I might get a James Robinson Jacksonville jersey, but I don't know. Probably Calvin Ridley jersey, honestly.
Oh, that'd be so cold. The black. Oh.
Or the red.
See, we are just opposites.
The black,
of the
the black is sick. The black is sick. Next, undefeated, still 7-0 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 2-6 Dallas Cowboys. Your very own Mount Pleasant, Michigan native. Actually, I don't think he's from. He's definitely
here.
not from Mount Pleasant, but
he's from
went to
Texas.
school in Mount Pleasant. Cooper Rush reportedly might start this game. Him and Garrett Gilbert are going to fight for the starting spot for Dallas.
Well, Cooper Rush in the preseason when he played a couple years back, everybody loved him.
He was the backup when Dak Prescott first started in Dallas, and I'm pretty sure he was cut.
There was a
this year,
discussion.
and now he's back because of Prescott and Dalton being hurt.
At one point, obviously, we live in Central Michigan. There was a real discussion among players, is it Cooper or Dak? Because Cooper was balling in the preseason.
I hope Cooper Rush gets the start. I'm picking Pittsburgh, though.
I'm picking Pittsburgh.
But I was talking to Tebow about this, and I was like, I literally almost picked Dallas. I'm like, dude, I could so just randomly see Dallas after Pittsburgh getting the huge win, Dallas getting this win. Dude, I might. Nah, I'm not gonna.
That's a storybook pick.
Next, we have the 4-3 Miami Dolphins at the 5-2 Arizona Cardinals. Good game here.
I'm going Miami. I'm going Tua.
Good pick. I'm going with Arizona, though. But
Good pick.
Interesting pick, but I don't agree with it. Next, we have the 5-2 Sunday Night Football. 5-2 New Orleans Saints at the 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going Tampa. They lost the first game of the season against them, but I think Tampa's a different team.
This is a good game. I'm going with New Orleans here. I think that they're gonna, Tampa Bay is riding high right now. They're looking to get revenge on the Saints, and they're gonna knock them off. We have a lot of opposite picks this week.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Good. Monday Night Football. This got to be the best Monday Night Football game of the year so far. 2-5 New England Patriots at the 0-8 New York Jets.
I know.
2-13 combined record on Monday Night Football. Are you serious, NFL?
I'm going with the Jets.
Actually?
Yep, this is my one game of the year. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm so excited.
Like that. I didn't pick them. I said I probably wasn't going to pick them all year, but I'm going with the Patriots. I love that.
I'm so excited, bro.
If the Jets win, I might just give you the win. No, I'm not going to, but that would be awesome.
That should be worth like 4 points.
I'm not picking them, but...
I'm guessing the Jets win should be worth 4 points.
So both of our picks were different on the primetime games.
Yep.
So that still could end up biting us in the butt because we could both get them wrong, or we could split 1-1.
Yeah. And then what game?
So what's the tiebreaker if
Seattle
that happens?
Bills.
Yeah, Seattle Bills for sure.
Okay.
Quickly, I want to talk about some college football. Just real quick, I want to mention to Easton that we have yet to talk about last weekend's college football. You know, we came on the show, we had Scuba and Willie talk about Michigan State. Oh my God, Michigan's gonna blow them out. Oh, they lost to Rutgers. What do you got to say, Easton?
Does Michigan still have a football program? I don't know. I don't know. What University of Michigan Wolverines?
Yep.
I thought they just played basketball.
Dearborn?
I thought they just played basketball, in all honesty.
I'm shocked that State won this game. I still, and I'm not trying to, I mean, I know I was just rubbing it in your face, but like,
I would rub it in your face.
I was just trying to be funny, but Michigan is still a better football team than Michigan State. I mean, State just played really good, and Michigan played bad. I mean, Rocky Lombardi looked really good.
Yeah. Josh Gaddis. Fire Josh Gaddis.
Fire Don Brown, too, because Michigan's defensive coordinator, Don Brown, was just not making smart plays. I mean, State, they would let the corners for the defensive backs for Michigan would line up on the line of scrimmage against State's
Press
wide
coverage.
receivers. Man-to-man, no help in the back, because they'd load up the box. And then we'd just send them deep. We'd send Ricky White deep, our freshman wide receiver, and we'd beat them. I mean, Michigan's defensive backs were getting beat the entire game. And the deep ball, Lombardi would throw it. It would either get caught or a pass interference would get called every time. And it never stopped working. I mean, State won that game because of the amount of big plays they had. State they weren't marching the ball down the field ever.
No,
they had multiple 30, 35-yard plays. That's how they won.
And Michigan?
They didn't adjust.
Michigan didn't have a big play.
No.
I mean, literally, Joe Milton, the 85 yards in the air.
Defense they looked pretty solid.
The rumor of Joe Milton can throw the ball 85 yards downfield. He didn't throw the ball 20 yards.
And that's the thing is, though, that's how State plays defense, though. They don't allow big plays. They'll let you get 5-6 yards every time. They'll let you march the ball down the field slowly, but they don't allow the big play to happen.
Well, we didn't do that.
But yeah, I mean, the problem for me with if I was a Michigan fan of that game was how the defense did not adjust to State. They did not adjust to the big plays.
It was
and
bad.
that would be really frustrating. State gets a huge win, man. They're taking on Iowa today. Michigan has another tough game. They're playing against Indiana, who's 2-0. They beat Penn State. Rutgers is taking on Ohio State, so we'll see how good Rutgers actually is. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about college football, though.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be talking about Michigan much more this year.
We'll see.
Just kidding.
Is it okay? No, actually, I want to ask you one more thing. Is it time for Harbaugh to go? You think
he
so?
can't win big football games.
I mean,
this wasn't even a big one.
Do you let him finish the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean, I
think
don't want
so.
to, but
I think
I
you
don't
let
want
him
Josh
finish the year.
Gaddis. Or,
Yeah, exactly. Who are you going to bring in? That's going to be better.
I don't want, because our offensive coordinator sucks. He is not using Joe Milton.
I think you
well
definitely have to let Harbaugh finish the year, see how it goes. Because if you beat Ohio State, like that would be cool. But
yeah, I agree.
So it's been a while since we've been doing the top 10 at each position in the NBA, and we haven't continued this in like a week and a half. But top 10 small forwards this week. This one is top heavy. You know, the bottom half, because like the point guard and shooting guards list, they were like all stars pretty much. This one's top heavy, and then it's just a lot of good role players.
Yep.
Me and Easton each did our top 15, so we're just going to name off our 11 through 15 really quick and then get into the top 10. So,
You want to go? Are you going 15 to 11?
yeah, I'm going to go 15 to 11 real quick. All right, 15 to 11. And I have one guy that was an honorable mention that is kind of crazy. I left him off here, but 15, I have Joe Ingles. 14, I have Duncan Robinson. 13, I have Kelly Oubre. 12, I have Will Barton. And 11, I have OG Anunoby.
Okay, I got 15 Joe Ingles, 14 Will Barton, 13 Kelly Oubre, 12 Wiggins, 11 Duncan.
Okay. Wait, who did you leave off of?
Oubre was my guy that. So.
I had Oubre at 13. What was different there?
Okay, let's go again. Oh, I had Wiggins. Who did you have? That wasn't.
I didn't have Wiggins.
So who was that?
Did you have Duncan?
Yeah.
OG?
No.
Do you not have OG on your top 10?
OG's in the freaking list.
Okay, I was going to say, there's no way.
OG's a baller.
Okay. So who's that? Wait, so you have somebody in the top 10 that's not even in the top 15 that I have in my top 10.
I don't know. I might have forgotten.
Maybe, yeah.
There might have been a small forward.
Maybe. Wiggins didn't make my list, though. I mean, like, I know that sounds weird, but, like, I'm taking Joe Ingles and Duncan and Oubre over Wiggins right now, honestly. Not by a lot.
I'm not taking Ingles and Oubre over. I might take Oubre.
I'd take Ingles over him.
I would.
Ingles is more of a playmaker, can shoot the ball better.
Joe's a baller.
He is.
He's a baller.
Wiggins is just inconsistent. Like,
Wiggins is what play style is Wiggins?
I don't know. He's just like a
guy.
He's just there.
He's just there.
He'll score 25 and then he'll score 5.
Yeah, he'll
play decent defense and he won't play make. I don't know.
Goes out there and plays.
Who knows? But let's get into it. Number 10, a guy that used to be an all-star of this league. I don't know if he was ever an All-NBA player or not, but I got Gordon Hayward at number 10.
Wow, I feel like that's a little low for him. I think he played. I think he balled out this year.
He had a good year.
I'm 10 OG.
Yeah, I figured OG would be at 10. I love OG, man.
Oh, dude, how can you not? The shot in the playoffs.
I know. I just love OG because he just has the Raptors have so many guys that just become good. Like
they
OG
just keep getting better.
Because OG in his rookie year was really good, and then Kawhi came and OG didn't really play that much, and then this year he became the starter and was just like he's had a weird little path in his career so far, but. He's really good. Like
he's awesome.
He's really good.
He's so much fun to watch.
He's definition of 3-and-D.
Yep.
But yeah, Hayward at 10. Like I like Hayward a lot, but I just would rather take all these other guys on this list over him. Number 9. Who do you got?
I got DeMar.
Ooh, I have Bojan Bogdanovic at number 9.
Okay.
Bojan. If this list was based off of. No, he had another baller of a year this year.
He was efficient as hell.
Bojan is so underrated. I mean, especially when he was on Indiana. He just because Oladipo was out, so he was like the number 1 guy. This year's a little different, and people kind of forget about Bojan just because he didn't play in the bubble. He was injured, but
he had 20 points a game this year.
Yeah, I mean, Bojan is a baller, and if the Jazz have Bojan, the Jazz has definitely beat the Nuggets, and who knows? They might have beat the Clippers too.
Mm-hmm. My number 8, Bojan.
Yeah. My number 8 is TJ Warren, Bubble TJ.
I'm really curious who I don't have on this list.
I know.
Wait, who did you have in your top?
There's somebody who you just forgot.
That
there's
I just
no way
forgot.
that I just think that they're this much better than you.
Yeah,
do.
I forgot somebody.
Wait, who was your 8?
Bojan.
Okay, yeah, Bojan's a baller. I had TJ Warren at 8, man. Warren scored 50. I'm really interested to see how TJ Warren does
next year.
Me
too.
I'm really interested to see.
If I'm the Pacers, I can't decide whether or not I'm trading him or keeping him.
I'm interested to see how the Pacers do, dude. Like the Pacers are
a big question mark.
They have so many guys. It's like, should they trade or keep? Like Oladipo, Turner, Warren, Lamb. There's just
I would even say
guys.
Brogdon.
No, I think Brogdon's there to stay.
See, I don't think he's good enough.
I don't think anybody's there to stay, honestly, though.
My number 7 is Gordon Hayward.
Okay, really? Wow, I had him a lot lower. My number 7 was DeRozan. I think DeRozan. I would love to see DeRozan on a contending team again. I think his time in San Antonio has kind of come to an end. I would like to see DeRozan. Ooh, weren't we talking about DeRozan in Atlanta?
Yeah, you said you really liked that. I said I didn't really like
I like that.
I'm not a big
that would
fan.
be interesting.
I'm not a big fan of DeRozan anywhere. Just I think he. Not that I dislike DeRozan. I don't think many people.
I still think he's underrated.
It's the shooting. His floor spacing really makes it difficult.
He's a damn good mid-range shooter.
Damn good scorer in general. I mean, he just does it efficiently.
Yeah, but not shoot the 3.
Yeah, that's the only thing he does inefficiently. So,
yeah.
I like DeMar. I just don't think he's that. I think his floor spacing creates a lot of issues for most teams.
Yeah.
Unless you surround him with shooters like you could in Atlanta.
I agree. Number 6, who do you got?
Bubble TJ.
Okay. I think I know who you forgot. I think it's this guy.
Who?
I got Brandon Ingram at number 6.
Didn't forget him.
Who did you forget?
I don't know.
No, it's definitely the next guy then. I got Brandon Ingram at number 6, man. Bubble TJ at 6. That's so high.
Yeah, but he was like balling at the end of the year.
Better than
Bojan, Hayward,
than
DeMar,
DeRozan?
OG. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did drop 50 in the playoffs.
He's a
That's
baller,
true. But
dude.
I didn't really just base it off just the bubble.
No, but
Like,
he was averaging 18 going into the bubble, so that's why I put him so high.
TJ is interesting, yeah. But Ingram became the number one option this year in New Orleans. Once Zion showed up, it was a little different, but
he was still a baller.
he was still a baller, yeah.
Number 5, BI. That's Brandon Ingram.
Yep. Number 5 for me is a guy who back-to-back years has, not really. He played, excuse me. He played kind of well in the playoffs this year. It's Chris Middleton.
I also have Chris Middleton. Who am I forgetting?
I don't know. I know who it is now, actually. Chris Middleton, though, I don't know what to say about Chris Middleton because he was fantastic in the regular season, was good in the playoffs this year, kind of. The game that Giannis was out was pretty good. I don't know. I don't know what to say about him.
Me either. He's the most.
this year.
He's so efficient though.
I got a cough again.
So, I had number 5 BI. Like Sandal said, BI is an absolute bucket as he's coughing up a lung over there, but he'll live. I really like BI's game. I think BI is a great building piece next to Zion. I love their roster. I really do. I think you add Karis LeVert like we discussed. You have a great starting 5 that can grow together. My number 4, Chris Middleton.
My number 4 is Jimmy Buckets.
Okay, I really forgot somebody big.
I know who it is. I already know. Jimmy Buckets, though, I kind of wanted to put him over the guy who I have at 3 just because of his playoff performance, but I can't. Jimmy, I would really like to see Jimmy become a superstar this year. Like, what if Jimmy was all NBA first team type?
Be so dope. But he just doesn't care.
I think Miami's going to be really good in the regular season this year.
See,
this upcoming season.
I agree, but it's not. Jimmy Butler did something incredible last year, and that was take a back seat during the regular season. I think he'll do it again.
Yeah.
Let's let everybody else grow, but everybody's just better this year. Tyler Hero's comfortable. Duncan is unbelievably comfortable. Not that he wasn't last year, because he was. Kendrick Nunn is going to get lots of playing time, I think, next year.
Probably, unless they deal him.
Derrick Jones Jr. will be back, and he played well in the playoffs.
They might deal him.
They might, but...
Number 3.
My number 3 is Jimmy.
My number 3 is Kawhi Leonard. What?
I just can't think of who I'm forgetting.
I know who the next guy. It's the guy who I have at number 2. Kawhi Leonard didn't step up in the playoffs. Colin Cowherd said he'd be top 5 all time after this year's playoffs.
Not even close.
Not after you blow 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets with the greatest team ever that didn't make the conference finals, probably.
Yeah, he won't even be top 10 all time when it's all said and
Kawhi's
done.
got a lot to prove this year.
Yep.
He really does.
My number 2, Kawhi Leonard.
My number 2 is the guy who you probably forgot because he was hurt last year. Kevin Durant is number 2. I knew it was him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did forget about Kevin Durant. Yeah. Because he was hurt. Yep.
Do you take KD over Kawhi?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, just put KD right at 2 and just move everybody else down. Yeah, because, KD, you can't not. He's the best scorer in basketball history. I'm a firm believer in that. Most unguardable player in basketball history is what it should be. Jeez Louise, Ricky.
My throat just
I put KD at 2 all day. Great. I firmly believe he is the most unguardable basketball player in NBA history. If he played a one-on-one versus anybody, nobody could beat him. That is my firm belief. Not Wilt, not Kareem, none of those guys. I mean, this is a 7-foot small forward who shoots the rock like he's a point guard, like he's Steve Kerr. Don't know why Steve Kerr came in. I'm just waiting. I'm just blabbling now, waiting for Sandal. Ran out of the room, got some water. How you feel now? Fine. Doesn't sound like it.
I just have a scratch.
Yeah, and earlier this week we had and we did have a COVID scare, but then it turned out to not be a COVID scare at all.
Don't need to talk about it.
I guess. I mean, I don't see why not.
Number 1 is LeBron James.
LeBron James. He's the GOAT.
Best player still in the league, and
coming off an NBA championship as the best player on the NBA championship team.
Yeah.
So, how can you not be number 1?
So, last thing I want to talk about today is we've been talking about a lot of the teams in the West and how good the West is going to be next year, but this is about what we're going to talk about is the East. So you want to talk about the three teams we're going to talk about.
So we're talking about the Raptors, Celtics, and Philly, right? Who's the third team?
Nets.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay.
We're talking about what each of these three teams has to do to become the team that makes the finals out of the East this year. What should they do to make the finals?
So
Let's start off with the Celtics.
Okay. I think the Celtics need to make a trade for a center. Not that, but there isn't anything wrong with, why can't I think of his name? Daniel Jones? Nope, that's a quarterback.
Tice.
Daniel Tice. He played great in the playoffs. Looked good. He's just 6'9", and that does present issues when you're that little.
And him being the sixth man or the seventh man behind Marcus Smart is that just makes their depth perfect.
Perfect. So I think you got to pick up a center, make a trade for center. I don't know what it is. The talk has been Miles Turner for a year now.
Yeah. And
obviously that works perfect. Miles Turner on the Celtics is great. He's a great defender, great shooter. What more can you ask for to pair alongside Jaylen Brown, Kemba, Gordon Hayward, and Jason Tatum? That's a great roster they have. Like Danny Ainge has built a powerhouse of a team that I think even if they don't make moves this offseason, they still are in contention.
Definitely, yeah. They still could make the finals.
But they also have to go through Brooklyn.
Dude, honestly, I think they should try to get Drummond.
I did see that with Drummond.
I think you could do if Drummond accepts his player option and Hayward does, you just move Hayward for Drummond. Maybe you have to throw in something.
Move Brown to the 3, start Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
I like that roster. I think
Drummond gets boards. Everybody else can stretch the floor. Drummond sets screens, gets rebounds, blocks shots.
I think Kemba and Drummond. I've been actually. That's funny because when Drummond was in Detroit, I was like, dude, we should trade for Kemba.
Yeah, I remember that.
I always said that. I don't know why.
We weren't gonna ever be able to, but
no, but it was just like a dream. It was also I always thought we should trade for Tobias Harris, but that was way before we actually got him.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I never even thought about Tobias.
Yeah, I did, but it was like when he was young and played for.
I've also heard about Gobert to Boston. I don't know what you think about that. I mean, Gobert is obviously better than Drummond is, but
it works.
Yeah, it works definitely.
I
don't think you'd have to give up more, and I don't know if Utah wants Hayward back. And the only way you're getting a high-paid center is getting rid of Hayward. So I don't really think Utah wants Gordon Hayward back, honestly.
But like we said, Drummond could decline his player option and just go play for a contender. I mean,
and there's rumor that he wants to,
yeah.
which I would respect Drummond a lot if he did that.
Oh, it'd be so different than what we saw in Detroit, where it looked like he didn't care. He was just making money.
Because he's just getting his bag, yeah.
Yeah, so it looked like he jogged everywhere.
He's getting paid $27 million a year, whether to get 10 points or 25, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The next team, the Toronto Raptors. What do the Raptors got to do to get back to the finals?
This is one, like you said it to me, and I was like, the Raptors. I don't think they have a shot. I think when Freddie leaves, they have a shot, obviously, but like not a good one. I mean, Pascal is great. Kyle Lowry is great. OG is great. But then, I mean, you're losing Valanciunas this offseason. It's looking like
Valanciunas.
Didn't Valanciunas say he wants to go play overseas again?
You're talking about Gasol.
Gasol.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gasol said he wants... Yeah, Valanciunas plays for the Grizzlies. Gasol said he wants to go play overseas out of nowhere. So, I don't know. It might be the end of the Raptors competing for the last 12 years.
Here's what I think the Raptors got to do. First of all, I think Siakam's going to take another step this year. Do you remember the Siakam we saw in the first 2-3 weeks of the year, the first month of the year?
The one
he was MVP Siakam.
Before they figured out the spin move, it was his only move.
I mean, that was in the playoffs pretty much. I mean, Siakam was he looked like the MVP.
He was unbelievable.
Like, he was insane.
He looked like Giannis, is what he looked like.
I think we're going to see that Siakam this year. I think Siakam might be second team All-NBA, all-star star. I mean, he was already an all-star starter, but and then second, you're going to have a little bit of money this offseason because, Ibaka and Gasol are both making 20+ mil. They're going to be gone, but Siakam's extension kicks in next year. I think you got to try to bring back Fred VanVleet somehow because I don't know if you're going to be able to because You're not going to be able to give him a lot of money, and he's going to get a bag from somebody, but you might be able to convince him. And then if you can't, you got to try to bring back Chris Boucher because he could become that starting big for you next year. Or you bring in a big. I've talked about Hassan Whiteside. You could even go out and get Drummond, do a sign and trade with Cleveland for Van Vliet for Drummond. But you're gonna have to get depth at the big man position because you're gonna be losing Ibaka and Gasol.
Do you think Freddie agrees to that sign and trade for Drummond to go to Cleveland? I don't think he does.
Depends on if they pay him, but
see, I don't think they.
No, there's no way because
Colin
you have
Sexton,
Garland.
Garland.
Yeah, you have Sexland over there. So
I don't like that. That made
You've
me
never
feel
heard of
weird.
that?
No, Sexland.
That's what they call Sexton and Garland. But Toronto, you're right. I don't think they're going to be any better than these other two teams. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Pascal, like he could break out. Like he's broken out already. He's past breakout point, but he
could do it again.
Yeah, 3 seasons in a row.
Lastly, the Brooklyn Nets. What do they got to do to get to the finals? KD and Kyrie healthy.
So like we've discussed, I think Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert, the complaint is that they're too ball dominant to be successful and they're not good enough off ball players. But I think they could work. They'd have to. But you bring in a guy like Bradley Beal who's great off the basketball, unbelievably good without the basketball, or Drew Holiday, who is also a great off ball basketball player. You are instantly like the best team in the East, favored. You're the Clippers of last year.
Yeah. Mine is bring in Drew Holiday. Trade for Drew Holiday. You give up Karis LeVert. Try not to give up Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert. That would kind of suck.
Their depth is unreal.
You could bring in Victor Oladipo. You know, that's another guy who would just be a great piece for them. And then if you can't bring back Joe Harris, bring in a stretch four. You know who would fit this team immensely?
Davis Bertans. Dude, I'm unreal. Granted, he's like the best stretch four.
He would.
He's one of the better stretch fours in the league.
I don't think he's going to be able to go to Brooklyn because he'll get paid by somebody, and I think it will be Washington. I think they'll bring him back. But Davis Bertans in Brooklyn, even if you don't go out and get Drew Holiday, like you just keep Karis LeVert, Bertans in Brooklyn, they're winning it all.
Winning it all.
I like I said, if you keep Dinwiddie and LeVert, Dinwiddie could win Sixth Man of the Year. You know, like
easily averaging 16 a game off the bench.
16 and probably 7 assists. Like shooting the ball well. I like Brooklyn's squad. Like I said, the power forward spot is the interesting one to me because I don't know who's going to start there. Taurean Prince,
or you can move KD to.
You could just start KD there if you do bring back Joe Harris, but
Joe Harris, Karis, and Kyrie, and that's a deadly lineup, bro.
I don't think Joe Harris is going to be back though. I don't think he will.
Think he'll catch a bag?
Yeah, just because he's a knockdown shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Right as of right now, before we see any offseason moves, if you were to pick the East favorite right now, your East favorite,
it's Brooklyn. Whether they make a move or not, it's still Brooklyn to me. But the Celtics also. And those two teams are going to duke it out.
Is a team that we didn't talk about.
Miami?
It's Milwaukee, man. I think that I'm picking Milwaukee just because they have to do something.
Yeah, they have
and I think they will. Obviously, we don't know what it's going to be yet, but they have to do something.
Yep.
So I'm going with Milwaukee there. Anything else you want to talk about, though?
I think that wraps it up.
This wraps it up. We'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to do our picks, and then eventually we're going to do our free agency predictions and everything, where all the big-time free agents are going to go. See how that goes. React to them afterwards. And, yeah.
I think that wraps it all up.
Peace. We'll see you Wednesday. Peace.